comes in and it blocks so much of the life of God that are inside of us, you know. He wants to flow through you. He wants to come out from your life. And we read here that but it's in John chapter 20, and we will read from verse 19. I just take a little recap here. Jesus, he had died on the cross. He had risen from the dead. And now there were some people, Mary Magdalene among, that God revealed himself to, and Jesus revealed himself to as resurrected. But here it says then from verse 19, and I just want to see this phrase because I think it can be for some of us. It says, then the same day at the evening, being the first day of the week, when the doors were shut, where the disciples were assembled for fear of the Jews, Jesus came and stood in the midst and said to them, peace be to you. When he had said this, he showed them his hands and side. Then the disciples were glad when they saw the Lord. You know, and this can apply to us as well. You come now, you came to the summer team, and you feel like you are the one who's been hiding, like the disciples did. They were hiding inside. You were hiding inside of yourself. You didn't dare to come out. And now what's happened is that Jesus has just come and he has been revealing himself to you in such a fresh and a new way. He has been showing you who he really is, more of who he is. And then in verse 21 it says, Jesus said to them, peace to you. You know, and this is so important for us when we are going out, that you just receive for yourself. You receive the peace of God. It doesn't mean that feelings won't run crazy sometimes, but it's a peace that goes deeper than feelings. That is like it's a substance in your inner gut, if you want, that people around you notice. Maybe you don't even notice it yourself. I remember once I was standing in Oslo, in the main square in Oslo, and I was speaking to a drug addict, and I asked him, so how is it for you to meet Christians? You know, how is that for you? And he said, you know, the first thing when I'm speaking with a Christian is that there is just so much peace. And I don't feel any peace. It's nothing, I don't feel anything, you know, but he's like speaking to me like this. And he said, you know, I just know that when I'm around a person who really is a Christian, I know that nothing can happen to me. And how is that even possible? So when you are there, you are his representative, but he lives in you, and he is really the Prince of Peace. So there's nothing we have to pump up when we go out and hype up, you know, to do something on the streets. But we can come there in the peace and with the peace of God. Amen? And then it says, peace to you. And when you and I are at peace in the Lord in that way, hallelujah, welcome back. As the Father has sent me, I also send you. When he had said this, he breathed on them, and they said to them, receive the Holy Spirit. If you forgive the sins of any, they are forgiven them. And if you retain the sins of any, they are retained. So the first point, I have 3 points, and then after I have 3 more points. So the first point is to decide today that you will stand up for Jesus. Okay? That's a decision that only you can make. You decide, yes, today I'm going to stand up for Jesus. And let us see now what had happened as Peter, when he was filled with the Holy Spirit. We go to Acts chapter 2. And the Holy Spirit here now had come, and it's been poured out upon the 120 sitting on the upper room. And we read from chapter 2 and verse 14. And they come and like, what is this? Are you drunk? What is going on with you guys? You act crazy. Because they went out on the streets after they have been filled. Like you and I know, we have been filled actually over these days. That's what has happened to us. We've been filled with the Holy Spirit. Things have just been refreshed for us in so many ways. And then Peter says in verse 14 in chapter 2, Acts. But Peter, standing up. Okay? So you need to decide today that you will just stand up for Jesus. Okay? Standing up with the 11, raised his voice. He didn't. He raised his voice. He was deciding to stand up for what has happened, and then he was starting to address the crowd that was there. And we know the result of this was actually this day, 3,000 people came to the Lord, were added to the church. Think about that. The first thing that happened after what these guys stood up that day was that 3,000 people turned to God. That can really happen here. Amen. It can happen here. Amen. This is a city of around 15,000 people, and in the region is 60,000. Acts 2 and verse 14. The second point is that I want you to expect, okay? I want you to expect that Jesus will confirm his words with mighty signs and wonders and miracles. Point 1, decide today to stand up. Number 2, expect that Jesus will confirm his words. Let's look in Mark chapter 16. You've probably been through this in the teaching sessions also, but I just want to make this fresh in your mind and in your heart. And we know this is it's a great commission. And I will just read through all this actually, because it's really funny. You know, in chapter 16 verse 14, it says that later he appeared to the 11 as they sat at the table, and he rebuked them, their unbelief and hardness of heart, because they did not believe those who had seen him after he had risen. Now think about that. Mary Magdalene and those who first saw Jesus risen came to them and said, Jesus have really risen, guys. And they were like, that's not possible. The disciples. And then Jesus, he came and he stood in the midst of them. And to me it's just startling to see what Jesus is doing here. What does he do? He gave them the Great Commission. These guys who were like, you know, he just gave them the Great Commission. And we will read all the way through this to the end. He said to them, go into all bar and preach the gospel to every creature. Amen. He who believes and is baptized will be saved, but he who does not believe will be condemned. And these signs will follow Maggie, Melissa. It will follow every one of us, those who believe, right? Amen. These signs will follow those who believe. In my name. That means that as if Jesus was there, because he is in you, okay? We are walking in his name. It's as if Jesus is there. You are his body, okay? And it says, these signs will follow those who believe. In my name they will cast out demons. If demons are manifesting, you cast them out. You say, in the name of Jesus, be silent and come out. That can happen. So don't be afraid. You have all the authority, actually, to cast them out. If that will happen. Okay. They will speak in new tongues. Maggie just started this week, so that's beautiful. She's a living proof that this is real. Yes. They will take up serpents. That doesn't mean that you go and find snakes and throw them around. It means that when you are in missions, things can happen and you have the ability to shake things off and to be protected divinely. They will take up serpents, yeah. And if they drink anything deadly, so we drink the water here, that's no problem, it will by no means hurt them. They will lay hands on the sick and they will recover. Okay. Now listen to this. This is very interesting to me because so many times we can start to pray, Jesus, oh, I pray that you move in this area there. That you move over there. Oh, move in bar. But he says to you, he says, no, I want you to move in bar. You know, I am spirit. God says that I am spirit. You are flesh. I need flesh to work through. Now listen to this. So then after the Lord had spoken to them, he was received up into heaven and sat down at the right hand of God. So Jesus, he has sitting down here. He has done his deal. Okay? He's done his deal. He sits down at the right hand of the Father. And then it says, and they, you and me, they went out and preached everywhere. Not just here and there, but everywhere. The Lord working with them and confirming the word through the accompanying signs. Amen. So just know that when you share the gospel, if it's a one-to-one conversation, if you preach through the means that we are going to use now at the streets, just know that the Lord, he really wants to confirm his word with signs and wonders. He just loves that, actually. I will take one more scripture on this, since we were talking about Peter. Let's look up in Acts, chapter 5. It's the same point. Yes. Acts chapter 5. And I want... Do anyone have English Bible?
Yeah, I have a week.
You have English Bible?
Yes.
No.
In French?
Norwegian.
No, in English.
Theo has English.
Yeah?
I have English, yeah.
Theo, can you read from verse 12 until 16?
Del 5, 12,
16.
12.
The apostle performed many miracles, signs, and wonder among the people, and all the believers used to meet together in Solomon's colonnade. No one else dared join them, even to the reality regarded by the people. Nevertheless, more and more men and women believed in the Lord and were added to the number. As a result, people brought the sick into the streets and laid them on beds and mats, so that at least Peter's shadows might fall on some of them as he passed by. Crowds gathered also from the towns around Jerusalem, bringing their sick and those tormented by evil spirits, and all of them were healed.
Amen.
Amen.
So here we see that
Todos eran
might,
sanados.
and through the hands of the apostles, many of you,
Por las
many
manos de los apóstoles,
signs. An apostle,
muchos
do you know what that
fueron
means?
sanos.
Does anyone
¿Sabes qué
know?
es un apóstol? ¿Alguien sabe?
What an apostle is?
What the word apostle, do you know what that means?
I think it's the emissary or representative.
Yeah, that's one of the implications. It means a sent one. Okay? So it means a sent one. The apostle, the sent ones. Who did Jesus send? He sent the apostles. And who has he sent now here?
Dios a Jesús, a sus apóstoles.
We are the sent ones here. Okay. And it says, and the believers were increasingly added to the Lord, multitudes of both men and women, so that they brought the sick into the streets. This will happen over these days. When you share, when you pray for someone who gets healed, say, is there anyone else in your family that will need this? Is anyone in your family that is sick? Yes, my mother, she has a problem, so and so and so. Okay, tomorrow we will be here again at this time. And if you bring a mother, we will pray for your mom too. So this is revival. When people are being brought to Christ. People being brought to Jesus. Okay, so point number 1 was?
Punto número 1.
Decide to stand.
Yes, decide today to stand up for Jesus. Number 2, expect.
That Jesus confess his word.
Punto número 2.
Wonderful. Expect that Jesus will confirm his word with mighty signs, wonders, and healings. Okay. Now the last one is to know. Okay, so decide, expect, and know. Know that what we do here will cause ripple effects across the whole region of Bad, Budva, Urchin, and Montenegro. So what we do here will cause ripple effects all across this nation. If I take a stone and I throw the stone into the ocean, you have the ripple effect. Okay? It's like domino effect. So what we do here, we do not know where it will end. We are starting some fires in dry grass. We never know how far the fire will go. Okay? And this is what we do. Think about that. God has put a flame on you. Okay? So when you come in touch with people, they are being burned by that flame. in a sense. Really? And that flame is connected with their tongue. So it's connected. What you say, it has power. It has light from the Lord to shine on their hearts so they will see the kingdom of God, see what He has made available to them. Okay. So I will just read in Mark, and go to Mark chapter 6. And I think this is one of the coolest verses in the Bible actually. Jesus, He is at one place, and He's going to cross over and come to a land called the Gennesaret. And we can read from verse 53, okay? And it says, when they had crossed over, they came to the land of Gennesaret and anchored there. Listen up. And when they came out from the boat, immediately the people recognized Him. Immediately. This will
Inmediatamente.
happen the
Cuando
days we
salió,
are here.
eso es lo que va a
Immediately
pasar.
when we come to a new
Cuando llegamos
location, they will
aquí,
say,
inmediatamente cuando
it's
nosotros
these guys.
salimos,
You've heard about
sí, estos chicos que
what
hemos
is
hablado,
happening
oído hablar de
here
ellos.
in this city. This will happen
Esto va a
actually.
pasar.
And then what will happen?
¿Y qué va a pasar después de esto?
They came out of the boat immediately.
Ellos salieron
Immediately the people recognized him, ran through that whole surrounding region,
del bote.
and began to carry
¿Qué
about
pasó?
on beds those who were
Recorrieron
sick
todo alrededor.
to wherever they heard he
Y
was.
donde todas partes enfermas, donde oían
Wherever
que
he
estaba,
entered into
donde quiera que
villages,
entraba, las
cities,
aldeas,
or the
ciudades o campos, ponían en las
they
calles
laid the sick on
a
the
los que estaban enfermos
marketplaces
y les
and
rogaban
begged him that
que
he might
les
just
dejase
touch the hem
tocar
of the garment.
siquiera el borde
And
de
as
su
many
manto,
as
y
touched
todos los
him
que él
were made
tocaban
well.
quedaban
Now
sanos.
this is really something I believe
Es
the Lord has
algo
spoken
que realmente
to me
Jesús
as we are coming here
habló
to Montenegro. We are
mientras nosotros
gonna
estábamos en
gonna
Montenegro.
start something here on the
Y
coastline
Jesús va a
here.
empezar algo aquí en esta
In
costa.
Ulcin, in Bar, in Bilbao, this is
Vamos
the
a ver
places we will go.
en Bar
That will just
y en
spread
lugares
across
donde
the
vamos,
nation. Think about it,
que va como a expandirse
630,000
a toda la
people
nación.
who live here. That's not so many.
Y
That's
como
actually not so
15.000
many.
personas aquí, solo aquí,
So think
15.000
about
personas.
that.
No son tantos.
That we really have the opportunity to
Que vamos
impact the
a
whole
poder
nation. The
impactar
Bible even
toda la
says,
nación.
he says, can a nation be born in one day? And it
En
can
la Biblia
be.
dice, ¿puede
Can a
una
whole nation
nación
receive Jesus in one day? It's possible.
nacer o
It's
ser
really possible.
creada
See,
en un
Israel,
día? Y sí puede
it
pasar.
was started in 1948. It's
pasó
possible.
En un solo
For God,
día.
nothing is impossible.
Para
And I
Dios
believe
nada
that
es
we are a
imposible.
part of
Y esto
starting
también va a pasar
something in
aquí.
here in this nation that will
Jesús
carry
va a
on
empezar algo
for
aquí, en esta
for
nación,
generations
que va
actually.
a
I
ser
really believe
fundada
that.
por generaciones.
I really
Es lo que
believe
yo
that.
realmente creo.
Okay, now 3 practical inputs as we are going to go out there.
Tres
First one
prácticos con,
is also how many were in the Power Evangelism
consejos.
workshop?
que entonces está en
Yeah,
Power.
it's my team mostly. Yeah. You know, we were speaking on different topics there, all from words of knowledge to healing to all kinds, and there were coming up some questions, and I just want to take some of those questions now because I know that every one of us, at some point we have been thinking about this. And the first question I want to take up is, what do I do if I pray for someone and they do not get healed? What do I do then? Okay? So, I just want us to go to Mark. Again, we are in Mark. We stay in Mark. Okay? We just go to chapter 8.
Al capítulo 8,
And we read from verse 22.
22.
Okay, we just read through it, and I think you will understand as we read through it what I will go with, what I will say.
Vas a entender mientras
There it
leemos
says,
lo que quiero decir.
then he came to Bethsaida, and they brought to him a blind man, and begged him to touch him. This can happen to you. Hey, my friend has a knee problem. Can you pray for him?
Dice, eso va a pasar.
Yeah, it can happen these
Te van a
days.
traer a alguien, puedes orar por él.
And then it
Eso va a
says,
pasar estos días.
chapter 8, verse 22 and onwards. So he took the blind
Entonces
man
tomó la
by the
mano del
hand and led
ciego,
him out of
le
the town,
sacó
and
fuera
when
de
he
la
had
aldea,
spit in his
escupieron
eyes
en sus
and
ojos,
put his hands
le
on
pusieron
him,
las manos
he
encima,
asked him
le
if he
preguntó si
saw
veía
anything.
algo.
Hey, do you see anything? How is your
¿Has
knee?
visto algo? ¿Cómo está tu
It's
rodilla?
a little bit better,
está un poco
or
mejor,
it's just the same, or I don't know.
está igual,
Okay?
no sé.
That can happen.
Esto puede pasar.
So, we see here,
Vemos aquí.
24, verse 24.
24.
And he looked up and said,
Él
I
mirando
see
dijo,
men
veo
like
los
trees
hombres como
walking. So he was seeing
árboles.
foggy here, okay?
Está viendo como algo
whom
confuso.
Jesus put
Pero
his
después
hands on
Jesús
his eyes again
puso sus manos otra vez
and made him look up.
y le
And he
hizo
was restored
que
and saw
mirase
everyone
y
clearly.
fue establecido y vio de lejos
So,
y claramente a
my
todos.
first point to you on this is that if something is not instantly healed right away,
Es
ask,
que
hey,
si
you know,
algo no está sano completamente,
sometimes it's
a
just
veces
a breakthrough
necesitamos,
like this right away. And,
a
but I
veces
want to
es
ask, can I
como
pray
así.
for you one more time?
pero hay veces que
God, it's
podemos
fine.
decir, podemos orar
Or,
por ti.
no, I don't want you to do that. Okay, that's
Sí,
fine.
no, no, ya
And
no
then
quiero más.
I want
Bueno,
you
está
to
bien,
leave people in an attitude of expectation.
pero quiero que vosotros
don't
dejéis
like
siempre a
Paul.
gente con
It didn't work.
expectación.
Because it's not
Siempre
based
con
on what happened there and
expectación.
then, it's based on what happened 2,000 years ago, okay?
Y es,
And
no se trata de
sometimes
lo que ha pasado
a
ahí,
healing,
sino es lo
it
que
comes
pasó
immediately,
hace
and
2000
sometimes even
años.
just it comes
Hay veces
gradually.
que
A friend of
sanidad
mine
pasa
calls
así,
it
y
the
si no,
turtle
hay
healing.
otras veces que pasa como
It comes
gradualmente.
slowly, yeah? And the other one is the rabbit healing, it's just, and it's there. Yeah, also the generator, you have the rabbit and the turtle mode. Okay? So that is that point. And leave the person in an attitude of expectancy. And they would anyway know that you cared enough to actually pray for them, you loved them.
Cuando les dejas
You know,
estar
and
con la
love never
expectación,
fails.
también asegúrate de que tú has
They would see your compassion, and they would see the love that you have for them. And so you never fail. But I know that you will experience maybe for the very first time to lay your hands on the sick this week, and you will see them recover. And for you to have experienced things in a certain level, that it will just increase. Okay? That is awesome. Number 2. I want you to, in your conversations, of course the conversation can take directions. You know, what about this? What about homosexuality? What about abortion? There's so many things. Okay? But I want you, as much as you can, as much as possible, try to focus in on Jesus. You have learned some points also in how to share the gospel, which I think is awesome, which I think is great. So try as much as possible. If the coming questions say, wow, that's a great question, but can I just share something that I really burn on my heart to share with you first? Is that okay for you? And most likely they will say yes. Okay? Or if a person is just he is just a big question mark. Here comes questions like a machine gun. What can you do? You say, okay, now you have 5 minutes to come with everything that you have on your heart. And then after you will give me 5 minutes and I can share everything that's on my heart. Okay?
Pero después me das 5 minutos a mí para yo poder compartir, ¿vale? Te pregunto tal. ¿Vale? ¿Ya has preguntado? Ahora me toca a mí. ¿Puedo compartir algo que tengo en mi corazón? Compartes el amor puro de Jesús.
Oh, you say, no, it's my time.
No, es mi tiempo.
You can say that.
Tú
It's
puedes
a deal
decirlo.
you have made together.
Es como un trato que habéis hecho. Es como algo práctico, un consejo.
So keep the conversation toward Jesus and focus on relationship. This region is full of religious people. I just spoke with one person on the way here in Macedonia, I think it was, or if it was in Albania, and I said, hey. And I just say, hey, how are you doing? I'm fine. Where are all you people from? I said, we are from so many different nations, and we're going to go all over the Balkans, and we're going to share all our experience with Jesus. And he just like, you see that it was like, you see it say that in Jesus, it's the Jesus bomb, you know, that and I said, how is it with you? Do you believe in God or do you believe it? Yeah, I'm Orthodox. He was proud of that. And I said, but how is it? Do you know Jesus? Do you know him personally? Yeah, I know some things about Jesus and so on. But really try to highlight relationship. Because that is really important. You know, there's no church that can say, you know, pope, no priest, no preacher. It's only Jesus. So point to the personal relationship and experience that you have of Him. You know what I experienced? You can share, you know what I experienced with my back here the other day? I would really just want to tell you, my back has been pain so. And they prayed for me and my foot grew out just in front of all of us. It was just awesome. And I said, and you can say, do you have any problem in your body? Is there anything you would like me to pray for? Anything that you need a miracle with. And then they will say, this or that. So just use your testimony. Okay, number 3. Dare to take new steps. Okay? Dare to take new steps. And let me tell you, you will fail sometime or another. Okay? And that is just a part of growing. You know, if you would fail, if you would try something and it didn't work out in the way that you thought, you at least try. It's better to try than to die in fear, okay? It's better to try. One is saying that, what do you call this? I don't know what you call it. What do you call it when your stomach has a block? You know, you can't go number 2. Constipation, yeah? It's better to get it out than to die of constipation, okay? So whatever you have on your heart to do, it's better to do it than to just let things die on your inside, not do it. Bless you! Sorry. Okay, and you will fail, but make sure that you fail forward, okay? Fail forward. That's very important. Fail forward. And I shared with the guys from Sweden before we came here, and I just want to leave you with that here now in the end, is that we who sit here right now, what are we?
¿Qué somos?
We are sent ones.
Somos
And
los
we are
enviados.
disciples.
Somos discípulos.
And what is a disciple?
¿Qué es un discípulo?
It's a follower.
Es un seguidor.
Sorry?
Student.
It's a student, absolutely.
Alguien que estudia.
It's actually absolutely true. And it's the same word that is used for apprenticeship. It's a learner. So it goes with that student. It's a learner. It's like if I come and he has a building company and he has the master in the building, and now we all greet this wonderful man coming in.
Yeah!
We are learners. Okay? And Jesus, he is the master. He has in Norway we have it's called actually that he's a big master. He's a person who has the master. He's the master in the construction field, okay? And then you can come in as an apprentice. And what does he do? Well, he learns from the master. Yeah? And it's the same way with us. And under the care of the master, he will do many mistakes. He will put a nail where he shouldn't put the nail. There's a lot of things he will fail in. But eventually he will grow up to become like his master. And that is what Jesus said to us as well. You are my disciples. You will fail. And it's normal. A child when he's growing up is doing what? Doing a lot of mistakes. Helping mom to take out dishes. It's normal. It's a part of growing. It doesn't say that he will never take out the dishes again.
Y él no va a decir,
no, that doesn't happen. So it's a part of growing. So take new steps. Dare even to fail. Dare to put yourself in a situation where you think and feel like, God, if you do not show up now, I'm in big trouble. Okay? So take new steps. Do those things that you said you should do. Oh, there's a man limping with the crutches. Oh, I should pray for this person. What do? You take another person and say, let's go together. Yeah. Jesus sent us 2 and 2 for a reason. Let's go together.
Vamos juntos.
And you know, a very good thing to do when you stop people and ask them, if you can pray for them, is to say, hey, wow, I see that you're limping. What happened to you? And then they will look at, who are you? I'm sorry, I just saw you limping, and is everything okay? Like, you're in pain. Yeah, and then usually they open up because people love to talk about themselves. So I fell down a stair and so on. Wow, that's really crazy. You know what? When I saw you, my heart just went out to you. And I'm a Christian. I believe in Jesus. Do you think it's possible for me to pray for you that you will be healed in your need? Can we do that? Is that okay for you? Yeah, sure. Or no, I don't want that. Oh, that's okay. God bless you so much. Jesus loves you. And the person can walk on. And what do you do then? You say to them, but we will pray for you anyway. When you go, we will still pray for you because we love you. Then you go to the group and pray for that person. And people get healed as they walk. That happens. Okay? So if the person wants to pray for, I recommend that you lay your hand on the shoulder. Okay? Be sensitive, especially with guys and girls and all this. So lay hands on the shoulder and pray very short. Jesus, thank you for your healing power to go into this need, to restore everything that is broken right now. Amen. Yeah, say that. It's okay that I put my hand on the shoulder, so you don't like,
pregunta si puedes hacer esto, no vas a ir a hacer eso.
You don't scare them to the mountains of Montenegro.
No vas a asustarles.
Yeah. Eva was praying so loud. Yeah, so that's just a good input
un buen consejo, el pedirles
on how to, and just
siempre pidiendo
conversation starters, you know. Just try to explore a little bit, because you need to grow in this personally. You know, you have a unique personality. I want to say that. You are not me, and I am not you. And you should be glad that you're not me.
Y deberías estar contento de que no soy yo.
Okay?
Tienes que estar contento de que soy vosotros.
So you have your own unique personality.
Tenéis vuestra única personalidad.
You have unique giftings from God upon your life. And
dones
God has
únicos de Dios.
come upon you with His power
Dios ha venido con
so
su
that you
poder
will
para
function
que
as
tú
who you
funciones
are.
como tú eres.
Okay?
Amén.
Remember David?
Acuérdate de David.
Yeah.
He was going to take down Goliath,
Que iba a tomar a Goliat
and then they put on him
y
the
después
armor
pusieron
of
en él
Saul.
la
It didn't work
armadura de
for him.
Saúl y no funcionaba para
So
él.
he had to go
Así que él
in
tenía
what
que
he was
ir.
used to do. So how do
a
you
lo que él
relate
estaba
to people?
acostumbrado
How
a
do you
hacer.
open conversations? You have
¿Cómo abres
to discover that.
conversaciones?
But
¿Cómo tú
just be
empiezas
very
a
open, very
desarrollar?
free. And say, hey, did
Lo
you see
mismo.
this show? What do you
Sé
think about
libre.
it? And there you have a conversation right away.
Yeah.
Are you from Montenegro?
¿Eres de
What are you
Montenegro?
doing here?
¿Qué estás haciendo aquí?
Are you on vacation? You
¿Estás de
know,
vacaciones?
just ask questions.
Pregunta cosas.
Ask questions.
Ujú.
Yes.
Pregunta.
Amen.
Amén.
Amen.
So, anyone else have any inputs
¿Alguien más tiene algún
concerning anything?
consejo? Ni algo.
Yeah, if you can just pray for me because before I was
I'm listening. You speak loud. I'll just get the fan. It's so warm in there. Tonight that you need to respond to the gift of God.
Tenéis que recibir el don de Dios.
So we call that in the Christian circles and this the evangelistic circles. We call it to throw the net.
Y
Okay?
nosotros los
It's
evangelistas
like you have the fish. You have been taking them from
tirar
one
las
point to
redes.
where you are now. And then do not go and say something
no
else.
vuelvas a
But
decir
keep it
otra
there.
cosa, sino
And that,
vuelve,
okay, now I will
quédate ahí.
ask, okay? And then you just say, is there anyone here?
¿Hay alguien aquí?
And then you
¿Quieres
see the
recibir
response.
Entonces ves
If there's
lo que
anyone, maybe you are
dicen.
far back
Si hay
there.
alguien,
Just take a little bit of time, not too long, but a little bit of time.
puedes
And
tomar
when you see
tiempo, no
someone
mucho,
responding,
pero
you
puedes
say, no,
tomar
I
tiempo.
see your hand and God sees you too.
Y digo, yo
sees
te
that
veo
hand today.
y Dios
And
te
the
ve
person
también.
is
Él
wow.
ve
Yeah?
tu mano hoy y le
And then you
persona,
can
wow.
see, if you want to take them
Y
forward or you
tú
want to
ves
say,
si quieres
I do it like this
tomarles
sometimes
o
if it's just a person or two or three, you know, if that's
si
like
es
that,
una
I say,
persona, dos o
okay,
tres, digo, vale.
if those who here are
hay-
from the group of Jesus Revolution, can you just lift your hand?
Luego
then we will lift our
a
hand
los de Jesus Revolution
And say,
levanten
go
su
to
mano.
one of these people that you see lifting their hands right now, and they will come to you and they will explain what you can
Ellos
do now
van a
that you want to
explicar
receive Jesus.
cómo podéis recibir a
Then
Jesús.
you go to that person and you
Entonces tú
say,
vas a esa
wow, what a
persona,
wonderful
wow, qué
thing that you want to receive Jesus
qué
tonight.
cosa tan increíble.
And then you
Quiero
lead
recibir a
them in
Jesús.
not just a
Entonces,
prayer,
como
but
le
you say,
dirás no
you
solo
from
una
your prayer,
oración,
it's you
sino
from your heart that respond to the gift of God. You say, yes,
tu
I want
corazón que ha
this.
respondido
And then you
a
can lead
Dios,
them to
a este
salvation.
don,
Or if it's
que-
not
a
more,
este
I will
regalo
maybe
que Dios te
say,
da.
I'm a bit flexible there, okay?
Y si
You
hay
should
más
be
personas,
too. If you
es-
said, I should call them forward, this is a really, they need to get this through, really. Then you say, come here forward here, and we will pray together with you. Yeah.
También
So
podéis
just keep the
invitarles aquí
progression. That's
en,
that's my thought here. Don't
en el centro,
blob
si lo
around forth
sentís.
and back and yeah.
No
Just
vayáis
keep
de un punto a otro, así,
the
sino
progression.
mantén la
Yeah.
progresión.
So that was just a little nugget for you. That's yeah. I've been learning so many things. Like I've been revisiting and going back, and it's just a mess. And where am I? You know what I'm to say. So just think simple points, and you flower them. Go to next.